So we had a naming center for this. Did we get any names? George, did we get any names?
Oh, incentive. Sorry, I did not check. Let me quickly give it up. Yeah, I am not the best when it comes to checking incentives. Let me check that. Believe that was. Yes, we did the law with two W's. Let me copy paste that to you,
The
just so
law.
you know.
Okay.
There you go. Like
Look at
that.
it
I
here.
DM'd you.
Okay. Someone.
3 W's actually.
Okay. Well, either
Yeah, we
either
did.
that's a different joke I missed. Either that's a different joke I'm missing, or
I
that's
don't know.
that's from high school, video game high school. Shout outs to that series. So it's a great series. If you guys ever check it out. Okay, so timing does not start here. Time I will tell you when time starts. Its timing's a little different here. So the minute I hit, once I press any key, the timing will start. So in 3, 2, 1, go. So real quick, we're just going to be grabbing these items, and we're just going to through here. Just basic stuff going on here.
I'll give you some slack here. So as George mentioned, this is Bloodstained, Ritual of the Ninth. It's a spiritual successor to the Castlevania games headed by Iga, maybe more commonly known as Metroidvanias or Igavanias. This is the new game plus, 80%, no major glitches category. So the goal is to just beat the game as quickly as possible, while avoiding major glitches. Major glitches we consider to be stuff like infinite jumps and out of bounds or zip glitches. We're running very fast, as you might notice. It's because we're using the accelerator shard. Shards are basically the spells of the game. They do different things. The accelerator shard lets you run this fast. As for the movement right now, the only real tricks going on is you can drop off of ledges faster if you slide or hold down right as you run off the ledge. And apart from that, there aren't really that many tricks. As for the spells we use, we're using Teps Osseous, which is the pink lightning spell. And we use Hellhound, which is the hot dog. You just seen a Vipar die. There's a bit of RNG in that fight. We got good RNG there. It spawned a tentacle, which it allows you to kill the boss as soon as you enter the room, basically. We're going to do a bit of menuing here at the shop. We're going to buy a stack of waystones, which allow us to teleport back here to town, which is faster in some cases.
What are you looking to buy? Is this... Thank you.
So we get to keep most of our shards since it's New Game Plus, but the game does remove all of the progression items, so we lose access to stuff like double jump or reflector ray or invert. So we do have to get some of those back before we can actually beat the game.
Yep. There will be some that we will be skipping because but that'll be. Oh, oh, there we go. Okay, and
another spell you might be seeing being used is Directional Shield. It's the big metal shield. It allows us to go through enemies without taking damage, and it's a lot faster than just hoping your spells come out. Because sometimes the game will ignore your inputs or also drop your inputs.
Went a little too fast there. Alright, this is Alfred. Best character in the game. No arguments.
Most cutscenes can be skipped, but there are dialogue sections that you have to mash through dialogue, and there's no way to really make them go faster other than mashing.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to practice. Oops. I forgot to skip for this practice relic skip. Oh well, okay.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I'm not
Alright.
doing that today.
I have about 10 to 15 seconds of latency here, so I believe he's doing the bridge skip right now.
I am. I'm
The
failing at
bridge
it.
skip. We use a trick discovered by Oliver that we call no grav. How it works is basically
Jeez.
you rapidly go from one weapon skill to another while also switching weapons, and this confuses the game. And it has different results, but the one we're looking for here is switching to the spear, which will allow us to go, as you've seen, straight horizontally without losing any height.
Yep. This saves about. Well, doing bridge skip in general saves about 2 minutes. This is compared to other methods. It's about what is it? Like a few seconds faster or something compared to the other methods,
Right.
and it's a lot
Also,
easier.
the bridge skip. The bridge skip is also possible in
Okay.
New Game, but it's significantly harder.
Alright, now we're on our way to our next required shard, pretty much, of the game, to get.
Which is double jump, right?
Yep, it should be double jump.
All right, so we're running through Livra Ex Machina. It's basically a mechanical library. There's quite a lot of tricks in this area. Anything you want to mention before I start?
Acceleration is hard.
Yeah. Yeah, the movement is very fast in New Game Plus. It's very easy to lose time because of how fast you're actually moving. And small things like running into enemies or like catching yourself on ledges and stuff end up losing a lot of time during the run. All right, so we're coming up on Andre Alphys, aka Andre Alphys, aka Andre 3000. Killing him gives you access to the double jump shard, which also gives us access to dive kick.
Which is oh my goodness, please. No! Don't read the book! Okay, we didn't crash. I haven't actually got that to happen to me yet, but it's always the first time for everything, right?
Mm-hmm. We're kind of coming up to another trick that we get access to with a double jump and dive kick, which is a boer jump. Boers are these little hairy fur balls with a bunch of legs. As the familiar, you can dive kick off of them, which kind of almost gives you a triple jump, and it allows you to bypass a couple cycles on certain rooms.
Such as... Oh my goodness, where's my beer? This is right here. Almost hit down and use the wave zone. That could have been bad. Okay, I thought I was on the thing. Oh well. Yeah. A lot of people say that New Game Plus is hard. It isn't really hard. It's just all is one-shotting things. But the thing is about New Game Plus is it's very different. You have to have a very different mindset to it. It's harder for its own reasons. It's all about it's more about execution than it is about, you know, one-shotting bosses or whatever.
All right, so are you going after the Valak skip, or are you just killing him?
Nah, I'm just killing him.
You're just killing him. Okay. So there is a. I'll explain how this fight works, and then I'll explain a skip you can do.
I get hit
So, Valak has multiple phases. but you can skip some of the phases if you do enough damage to him before certain phases starts. So we do enough damage here, and if we skip it, he'll go straight into a big grinder attack. And if you do that, then you know that you skip the phases. And after that, this boss is actually basically an auto-scroller. So that's the only way you can make it go faster. And after you've skipped the grinder, or the tongue, we call it tongue skip, it skips a tongue attack. So we get the grinder, and then we have to wait for Valak to reach a certain point on the tower before we can actually kill him. And then it only takes one hit. But the way the skip works, that's actually completely skips Valak, and you don't have to fight him at all, is there is this tall trigger that runs the entire height of the tower. You can use a weapon technique on the katana called Jinrai, which is like a stereotypical samurai slash, where Miriam will teleport from one space to another space and actually completely bypasses that trigger. And if you can memorize where this trigger is all along the tower, you can end up skipping Valak completely.
Yeah. Saves only about like 10 seconds, I think.
To skip it completely, I think it saves 40 seconds.
You might be right on that one. Did I forget to get the one? I forgot to get the one in Garden. That's awkward. Well, that's fine.
Did you talk to Dominique?
I didn't. I forgot to talk to him. That's also fine.
Yeah, so in order to progress the story here, you have to speak to two NPCs, first being Dominique, who will take your picture, and then you have to speak to OD, who will do something and give you a pass plate, which lets you board the train, which is the next area we'll be heading to.
It's a good thing that 9 is an excess number in this run. Jeez. And that's it, like... Alright, since I forgot to get the one in Garden of Silence, we're gonna have to just go through Ardenville.
Run back.
Yeah, we're just gonna
It's not that big of a time loss,
Yeah.
since we can run fast as AF.
Yeah, and...
I guess I'll explain the upcoming section, which is the train. So typically on the train, you have Zangetsu following you, and you have to rely on his AI to allow you to progress on the train. But New Game Plus, since we have access to the Boer Familiar, just as before in the Dragon Towers, we can use the Boer to triple jump and skip having to rely on him to do his part. And the boss of the train area is named Glutton Train, and it's probably one of the most RNG dependent fights in the run, because the boss actually cannot die until Zangetsu rips the mask off of the boss. And he can either do it right away, or if he wants to really screw you, he can make you lose upwards of 20 seconds. And there's really nothing you can do about it, other than you can try to position yourself to try to manip the boss AI not to attack you. But it is up in the air.
So again, I apologize for the weird sound glitch here. It does that, fortunately.
Oh, you got the sound glitch?
Well, not sound glitch, well, like, where it's like staticky and stuff.
Oh, okay, right.
That's just so for some reason, like if the game has, if you like drop a lot of frames in a sudden time frame within the game, it just like it makes that really horrific sound with the audio, and I apologize. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, have we ever mentioned this game is very well made?
Mm-hmm. Yes, this game is very glitchy. quite a lot of glitches. There's multiple sound glitches. As I mentioned before, you can drop the game can drop your inputs. The game can just straight up ignore your inputs. It has a bunch of soft locks and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. Like you can just like walk into doors with directed shield on and just soft lock that way.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. Good RNG.
Got a quick one?
Yep.
All right. So the next section, we're going to be moving on very quickly to the next boss, which is Bathin. Bathin is like a edgy Sonic the Hedgehog. Killing him gives you the Reflector Ray Shard, which is a progression item. It's basically allows you to teleport a short distance and also teleports you through small gaps. And since we're on New Game Plus, this spell is also leveled up to max, which allows us to reach areas that we normally wouldn't be able to at this point.
Here's Dominique. Totally not being suspicious at all.
Mm-mm. Alright, and now you teleport back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're teleporting back and we're heading through the waterway.
Wait, wrong one. That's fine.
And thanks to another glitch that we call the Valk glitch, it allows us to bypass having to get... it allows us to skip one boss completely, because we no longer need to enter from a certain area. We can skip it because of this glitch. And this glitch, it uses the Valkyrie Sword's unique weapon tech, where you'll basically do a down slam with the sword, and it will propel you underwater, when normally the only way to go underwater would be to use the Aqua Shard or have the Deep Sinker equipped.
Yep.
But we won't be getting either of those.
And to answer someone asked if this is Nightmare. No, this is not Nightmare. That's all because Nightmare versus normal in New Game Plus literally makes zero difference.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you're the difference is like maybe one or two summon hellhounds. That's about it. There's just no difference. So we just have the boards combined. Cool little clip there.
So yep. So yeah, this is the Valk glitch you're seeing, where he's slamming down through the water. Normally you would have to be using the Aqua Shard here. Protect yourself.
Oh, stream is dying. There it goes. Let's come back. And it's back. Okay. Oh, I think I was very close to something.
Yeah, you can actually soft lock the game if you Vault glitch in the wrong spot here.
It's very fun. Where am I going? Where am I going? This is not all bosses.
Alright, so now we're in the desert, the hidden desert. Normally we would be going to Alfred, but since we do not need a Deep Sinker in New Game Plus, we just ignore him completely. And we're actually, at this point, going to be doing a boss in the reverse order.
Come on, jump, please.
This area is one of the most difficult areas to move through cleanly in New Game Plus, because there are a lot of ledges and a lot of enemies. And the pink ghosts are one of the worst enemies in the game in the speedrun, because running into them, doing contact damage, will apply the slow effect to you, which obviously makes you slow.
That's not where I meant to go. That's fine.
So now we are in the Inferno Caves, but in the reverse direction. So thanks to New Game Plus and the max level reflector ray, it allowed us to go up through that tiny gap, which we normally would not be able to do at this point in the game. And now we're going to make our way to the next boss, which is Oribus. And the thing about this boss is we enter his room in the back door, and for whatever reason, going through the back door does not activate the boss's iframes, and it also doesn't lock our movement after our initial walk-in. So this allows us to damage the boss while his intro is playing, and he'll die instantly as soon as the AI takes effect. Alright, so we've teleported back to town, and now we're making our way to the entrance area, and we'll use our new progression item, which is called Invert, to reach the next area, which is called the Oriental Sorcery Lab. But first, you're going to see us run through spikes. We're taking all the damage on the spikes. Normally, the game would expect you to find a certain item called the Aegis Plate, which will allow you to be immune to all damage from environmental hazards. And also you'll be seeing another glitch here. Casting the Scale-Crawler spell into these Iron Maidens allows you to lock them up, and then you're able to just push them out of the way, when normally you would have to kill another boss called Craftwork, which we completely skipped, to be able to move these at all. So we don't honestly know why that glitch works, but it's in our best interest. So
Yep. It works, so we do it. That's essentially it.
You're farming the bovine, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we're farming for a bovine plume. This is another bit of RNG in this run. We need the bovine plume because it allows us to... Nice. It allows us to craft the high jump shard, which is a legitimate infinite jump in the game.
Oop, almost had it. There we go.
Yeah, so this is the Oriental Sorcery Lab. You can call it that because it's an inanimate object. And the next boss coming up is True Zangetsu. For those of you that don't know, Zangetsu is voiced by David Hayter, who you might better know as Solid Snake. There are a few voice lines where it's pretty obvious that it's him.
Okay. I swapped to standstill. I didn't even need it.
Alright. And killing Zangetsu gives us the Zangetsu To, which is a katana that is used to as a key item to reach the true ending of the game. So we'll teleport back to town, quickly craft the high jump, and then we'll move on again to the next area.
As you can see, it's much faster than Invert. Unless you don't get it like 30th try or something like that, it's well worth grabbing. I don't know why I didn't need to do that.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to cut in real quick. We had a $1 donation
Oh, go ahead.
for Save the Children, which is awesome. That went towards the character name The Law for Oblivion. So thank you, Sammy, for the donation.
Also, Samuel, let me know if that's actually from Video Game High School, because if that's the case, you are awesome. That is a series I don't hear very many people talk about.
So this is the cathedral. Normally you would go through this area to reach another boss, but we're skipping it completely. And we're making our way to one of the final areas of the game, which is the Hall of Termination.
Oh my goodness, please jump. The door.
And the boss of Hall of Termination is Gerbil. It's
Safety
probably
save.
yeah, safety save, because this is probably the only boss that could kill a run, because for this boss you actually need to not kill him. You need to reduce his health to a certain point, and then the moon will activate in the background, and you have to use the Zangetsudo sword to cut the moon in half, which will end the fight. If you kill Gerbil, he will, give a spiel or whatever, and the game will end. Game over.
Just gonna go ahead and quit this Zangetsu.
So the way
Oh,
I
I got
do
a
it
crit.
is oh nice. If you get a crit with Hellhound, you don't have to do any more damage.
I almost messed up. Because I didn't notice I got the crit. If I didn't look at the moon, I would have killed him.
If you don't get a crit, you would do 1 Hellhound and then 3 regular attacks, and that is typically enough.
Yep. Garden silence. I was trying to think where I needed to go.
Mm-hmm. Now we make a beeline for the Broken Bridge area, which is the Garden of Silence. And we're looking for another moon to cut in half.
Ooh, that was clean. That was a clean cut.
Nice.
Alright, so we'll cut off the incentive for Race the Ninja here. You can tell me if we made it or not while this cutscene's going.
This is the longest cutscene in the game. And you can't skip it, you just have to match their dialogue.
Yep. Alright, if I don't hear anything from after this, I'll assume that we did not make it, unfortunately. Ah, yeah, we didn't make the incentive. That's unfortunate. That's okay. The ninja wins today.
Mm-hmm. Believe it. So, unlike Symphony of the Night, which gets a really cool reveal of inverted castle, we get a Mario 3 ripoff where all the enemies are super big and also super annoying.
Mostly annoying.
It's very difficult to move through this section quickly. Since the enemies are all large, there's a high chance that you're going to run into everything, and it just wastes time. Also, I didn't mention that falling from a long height and hitting the ground can cause a stagger, which also wastes time. And this is Balefar. He doesn't get to do much. Balefar has a unique mechanic where he will actually heal based on how much gold is in your inventory.
Oh, that is some major lag.
Alright, and that area was the Den of Behemoths, and now we're in the Glacial Tomb, which is the final area of the game.
Yep, so we got a couple more bosses to go.
Mm-hmm. If you pay close attention to the background, you might notice that there's a bunch of demons frozen, encased in ice.
Something else we didn't mention is a fun little fact for everybody. All the demons in this game are actually based off of was it Ring of Solomon, right?
Yeah, the Lesser Key of Solomon, I think it is.
Yeah, they're all based off of Lesser Key of Solomon. So a bit of a fun fact for you guys.
Yep. You could look up any of the names of the main bosses, or not all the bosses, but most of them, and then you can read up some ancient lore on them. All right, this is Grimmery. She sends.
I was like, why is it not hitting every guy?
Hit her with a frozen hot dog. She doesn't like them.
Oops. I forgot that deloading's a thing in this game.
For killing Grimmery, you get the Dimension Shift Shard, which is it's a short-range teleport similar to Reflector Ray, but it also allows you to teleport through walls, as long as they're small width and size.
Yep. Alright, time to the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
This is Dominique.
next.
Surprise!
Dominique, surprise.
She's actually the final boss this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Dominique is actually pretty difficult in a regular run, non-New Game Plus, but in New Game Plus she typically dies pretty quickly.
Yep. Alright, so now it's time for the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
This is Baal. This is the king of the demons, the most powerful of them all. I just want to point that out. This is supposed to be the most powerful demon of them all. Time is coming up, by the way, so do get ready on that.
The most evil entity in known existence is a redhead, a cat, and a chameleon.
Oop, I messed up. Time. Most evil demon in existence.
30 minutes, not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, that's a good run.
It might have been a PB if that was actually with loadless. What was my time?
30:33.
33. Oh, 33 or 3.
Around there.
I think that's like...
No, it was quicker than that. It was quicker than that.
Well, that was Bloodstained, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out the Discord. New Game Plus.
I may or may not have missed time. Sorry about that. 30, I heard 33.
Somewhere around there.
33.
Right, let me...
I think that's like just barely missed my RTA time.
Yeah, you probably PB'd then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you guys do enjoy, make sure to check out the Discord for Bloodstained. We have both Virtual Night and Curse of the Moon. So if you're interested in either one of those as a speedrun, definitely check out Discord. Everyone's very friendly there. New Game NMG is very fun. Do not get discouraged by the New Game Plus. It is a very fun category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with that, let's go ahead and get on to the next round, I guess. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for running.
Bye.
Yeah,